Hi everyone, welcome back to Quirky Pineapples. If you're new here, I'm Vina, a plant-based recipe developer who's on a mission to show you how simple vegan baking can be. Let's get started. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make strawberry muffins. Alright, so here's what you'll need to make these vegan strawberry muffins. You'll need some all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, applesauce, some plant milk, salt, vanilla extract, baking powder, a little bit of oil, and of course, some fresh strawberries. Okay, so let's get started with our dry ingredients. We're going to mix in our flour, our sugar, our salt, and our baking powder. And then we're just going to whisk those ingredients together until they're fully combined. Simple enough, right? All right, now let's move on to our wet ingredient. All right, so in a separate bowl, we're going to add our milk, our applesauce. And I actually really like to get the individual cups of applesauce. They tend to come in about 4-ounce containers, which is perfect for baking measurements. So a little hack there. Our vanilla extract and our oil. Now, I suppose if you wanted to do this all in one bowl, you probably could. I just really like to do it separately. And then I'm just going to whisk those ingredients together. All right. And then we're going to combine the two. All right, so combining the two, I'm just going to pour it in. And I'm just going to gently mix just until my flour is hydrated. And the reason that I'm doing this just until it's hydrated is because I don't want to overmix and I still need to mix in my strawberries. All right, so most of the flour is hydrated, so now I'm going to fold in my strawberries. I'm going to add about a cup of strawberries. And then just folding in the strawberries. Like I said, we're trying to be really careful not to overmix the batter because we don't want tough muffins, we want fluffy muffins. All right. So I've set my muffin batter off to the side to rest before scooping it and putting it into the tin. So I'm just gonna make my crumble topping. And so all you'll need for this is just some flour, some sugar, salt, and a little bit of melted vegan butter, okay? This step is completely optional, but I really like it, okay? All right, so I've got my flour. I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of sugar, my salt, whoops, and I'm just gonna use a fork to sort of whisk it together. And then I'm gonna add in the butter. Okay. And then using a fork, I'm just gonna mix it until it starts to form small crumbles. I kind of like this because it adds sort of a salty, buttery kind of extra texture and flavor to the muffins because they will be sweet since they're made with strawberries. So just a nice added element. And then you'll just work it until you get the crumbles the way that you want them. And if you find that it's too dry, you can always add a little bit more butter. Sometimes it's hard to get it all out of the container. It also doesn't hurt sometimes to go in with your fingers when you need to. It's kind of the fun parts about baking, is getting your hands a little dirty sometimes. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. And then once you have it to the consistency you want, you're ready to go ahead and add it to your muffins. All right, so with a little bit of elbow grease, we finally got our crumble to the consistency that we want it to be. It should be sort of like, you know, like a pebbly sand. What I'm gonna do is pop this into the refrigerator for maybe about 5 minutes, pretty much about as long it takes for me to fill my muffin tins. And then I'll pull it back out when I'm ready to add them to the top of my muffins. All right, so I'm gonna throw this in the fridge. All right, so now that my batter has had time to rest, we're gonna go ahead and fill our muffin tins. I've already got my tray lined, and I've got my handy dandy ice cream scoop, which I really like using a scoop because it pretty much gives almost the perfect, kind of the perfect amount of batter that I need. And we'll want these about 3/4 of the way full, just with a little bit of space left, because they are going to puff up and rise in the oven. There we go. And sometimes I like to use my spatula to get some of the batter off. But yeah, these are really great for, I don't know, if you're making a brunch or you just need sort of a quick breakfast to go. We're getting almost into strawberry season, so it's just a nice use of strawberries. Yeah. And then when you're scooping, you can kind of try to get as many strawberries into your scoop as possible. All right. I don't know if anyone's like me, but whenever I make a batter and I have almost exactly the right amount of batter, I feel like this weird sense of accomplishment. Comment below if you're like me in that sentiment, in that regard. Oh, I think we're getting there. I think I might have just a little extra batter. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna distribute it a little bit. What? Did I make the perfect amount of batter? I think I did. Not quite. But we got really close. So this should make about 12, but you know, we're not perfect. All right, so now that I have these filled, I'm gonna grab my crumble out of the refrigerator because it should be chilled just enough. And then we'll add our crumble. And if you wanna make these a little extra cute, then we'll actually add a little extra strawberries to the top as well. So let me just move all this out of the way. Let's go ahead and grab our crumble. Shake it up. All right, grab our strawberries. I'm coming back, I promise. All right, and a few extra strawberries, okay? And then you're just gonna get in there with your fingers. I know sometimes we don't like to get our hands dirty, but let's just do it. Let's get in there with those fingers. And then now I'm wondering, should I put the strawberries on before I put the crumble? Maybe I should put a couple strawberries on before I put the crumble on. That makes more sense, right? Does that seem more logical? I think so. All right. And again, we're just adding the extra strawberries so stuff looks extra pretty, because baking should be pretty most of the time. But yeah, you can make these, I don't know, during the week. They come together pretty quickly. You can make them during the week if you just want something sweet, or you want like a quick muffin to pop, kind of pop in for breakfast. Uh-oh, am I running out of strawberries? I am. That's okay. A few extra strawberries on top. We'll steal some from the others if we need to. All right, let's drop on our crumbles. And so a little technique that we're going to do to help these muffins to rise really well and give you a nice like fluffy puffy top, we're starting our oven temperature up on a higher temperature, so at 450. And I'm gonna bake them for about 10 minutes at 450 before I lower the temperature down to 375. And so by raising that temperature, sorry, lost my concentration there. By raising that temperature, it'll help the outsides to sort of bake really evenly. And then it kind of causes a reaction where they'll puff. And then by lowering it, then the rest of the muffin will be able to finish baking. All right. I really would like to use as much of my crumble as possible because the crumble part is really delicious. All right. I mean, those look good just the way they are, but I mean, we're not eating raw batter. We're not doing that. All right, so these are all ready to go in the oven. Like I said, I'm gonna put them in the oven at a higher temperature so that they can puff and kind of do their lovely baking science magic. And then I'm gonna lower that temperature down so that they can bake more evenly. And so I will see you back when these are all done. Alrighty, so our strawberry muffins are all baked. They're cooled out of the oven. I will always recommend when you pull something out of the oven, immediately transfer it to a drying, or not a drying rack, but a cooling rack, so that you can stop the baking process, and also so that you don't end up with soggy or wet muffins, because they will get steamy inside of their little papers. So these are fully cooled now. We're just gonna do our taste test. So I'm gonna break it open. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, that looks good. Okay. I don't know where to start. I never know where to start, do I? All right. Piece here with a little bit of strawberry. I feel like I need a glass of milk, obviously vegan milk, but I feel like I need a glass of milk to go with these, because they're really like moist and soft and fluffy and chewy. That strawberry flavor comes through just right. The crumble on top adds a little extra flavor and even a little bit of crunch, which is really nice. I highly recommend that you make these. If you do, don't forget to leave a comment below letting me know how you like them. All of my recipes are available on quirkypineapples.com. I'll also put my QR code here in the corner for you, like I always do. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. You're just like, action. Granulated sugar, some unsweetened applesauce. Yep, just throw it away. Just throw it in the trash. All right, so now that...
Oh, sorry.
So